While the Earth can generally support life, there are certain locations where the climate can become extremely hot. Excessive heat can pose a serious threat to even the healthiest individuals, especially when our bodies are unable to cool down through increased heart rate and heavy sweating. If left unchecked, overheating and dehydration can lead to fatalities. The temperatures found in the following list are so extreme that only a very limited number of living organisms can withstand them. Below are some of the highest temperatures that have ever been recorded on our planet. Number 10. Kuwait. The Middle Eastern climate is world-renowned for its scorching temperatures, partly owed to its arid environment, relatively low exposure to coastlines, and generally low-lying land, which air can flow over with ease. One of its hottest areas is Sulayvia, which is a distant suburb of Kuwait City and features the largest tire graveyard in the world. Consisting of approximately 7 billion used tires, some of which have melted under the intense heat. It's not a particularly populated area, and no wonder it holds the record for the joint hottest place in Asia with a max temperature of 128.5 degrees Fahrenheit or 53.6 Celsius in July of 2012. There is some discrepancy in the records, though, as a temperature of 127.9 Fahrenheit or 53.3 degrees Celsius at Mitra has been suggested as the highest, most accurate temperature in Asia. Either way, there are a very small percentage of humans that can tolerate such epic heat, and these sparsely populated and highly inhospitable areas play hosted just a tiny amount of highly adapted animals and insects. Humans may even be in danger as the extreme heat gets worse. A study published in the journal Nature Climate Change in 2016 cautioned that by 2090, due to climate change, temperatures may become too hot for human survival. Number 9. Pakistan. In 2010, Pakistan recorded one of the highest temperatures in the world, but also the hottest reliably measured temperature ever recorded in Asia, at 128.3 degrees Fahrenheit or 53.5 degrees Celsius. However, this record was matched in May 2017, when extraordinarily hot air moved across parts of Iran and Pakistan, forming a heat dome of high-pressured air. Air was forced downwards towards the surface by this highly pressurized weather system in the atmosphere, which allowed for strong compressional heating, whereby air is compressed in place at ground level instead of warm air being blown in. The air kept conducting heat from the ground that had been roasting from the sun in clear blue skies. Records broken across the Middle East and Europe included the highest temperature of 128.3 degrees Fahrenheit or 53.5 degrees Celsius recorded in western Pakistani town of Turbat. As the heat moved towards Europe, Norway's temperature record was broken with a high of 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32.2 degrees Celsius at Tincho on May 27th, and Austria's was broken with a high of 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius at Horn on May 31 St. Number 8. Iran. Iran is an extremely dry and hot country for the most part. Sandwiched between the subtropical aridity of the Arabian Desert and the subtropical humidity of the eastern Mediterranean area, it regularly experiences super high temperatures of well above 105 Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius throughout its summer month. Through the heat dome effect, as explained earlier, where humid air is trapped under a dome and sinks, which compresses and therefore warms it up, temperatures soar of 40 degrees and over regularly. Reliably measured temperatures of 127.5 Fahrenheit or 53 degrees are recorded quite regularly in parts of Iran, perhaps more regularly than any other country worldwide. It hit its temperature record in the city of Avaz, which soared to 128.7 degrees Fahrenheit or 53.7 degrees Celsius, which, if accurate, is just shy the hottest temperature recorded anywhere on Earth. Number 7. Israel. The Middle East tends to dominate many temperature records. Israel is certainly no exception. Tarit Sivi lies west of the Jordan-Israel border and sits 220 meters or 700 feet below sea level, forming a heat sink, which regularly causes temperatures to soar well above 40 degrees. Its temperature record occurred in 1942 when the town recorded a temperature of 129 Fahrenheit or 53.9 degrees Celsius. This would be the hottest temperature in Asia, but thermometers were not so accurate back then, and skeptical meteorologists claim that thermograph data indicates the temperature that was more like 127.4 Fahrenheit or 53 degrees Celsius. Interestingly, the area is not devoid of plant life, and it does enjoy some agricultural success with the assistance of modern plant hydration technology. Number 6. Timbaktu Mali. Temperature records only edge up slightly when you get to this point, and as readings grow, ever closer accuracy becomes ever more important. Mali's sheer proximity gives it roasting summers with highly contrasting winters that reach well below freezing. Throughout its ancient cities lies Arawan, which is a small Saharan village near Timbuktu, and the desert surrounding it is completely desolate, barren, and dry with just a wind named the Harmat and blowing sand, and from the Sahara. In 1945, the temperature is suggested to have risen to an extreme 54.4 Celsius in the summer month of July. Timbuktu itself, world-renowned for being in the middle of nowhere, regularly sees average highs of 108 degrees even in the colder months. However, in the summer, temperatures nearing 130.1 Fahrenheit or 54.5 Celsius have been recorded. Number 5. Kebili, Tunisia. Tunisia has the Mediterranean Sea to the north with hot, humid air and desert in its inland area. To the north, the Mediterranean air brings some relief to the usually hot climate, and thus North Tunisia is a popular tourist destination. The further south you go, however, the drier things become. In the center of the country, you'll find Kebili, which is actually considered an oasis for those wanting to escape the African heat, providing you go there in the right month. It's rather picturesque and features rolling dunes with palm trees and plenty of arid rock formations. Despite its oasis-like feel, you won't give much for spite from heat at all during the summer months, and if you go there in the hottest months from May to July, the average high is around 107.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 42 Celsius. Kebili has seen temperatures well into the 50s though, and during the 1940s, temperatures reportedly soared to a whopping 131 Fahrenheit or 55 Celsius. Such data is contested in the modern era, but reliable measurements of 125.6 Fahrenheit or 52 Celsius have been made. Number 4. Ghadames, Libya. Ghadames is known as the Pearl of the Desert and features beautiful Middle Eastern architecture that stands in a sand-blasted oasis. The beautiful architecture is battered by high temperatures that regularly exceed 104 Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius during the summer months of June through August. It rarely descends below 60 Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius, which is very hot indeed for a desert town. This hot desert climate receives very little rain throughout the entire summer and only around an inch all year. Libya is also affected by a powerful wind named the Kebili, which sweeps across the desert flats, causing swirling heated dust storms. The hottest temperature recorded here was 131.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 55.2 degrees Celsius recorded in 1961. Though this figure is contested, reliable measurements of 125.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 52 degrees Celsius have been made in the 90s. Number 3. Furnace Creek, Death Valley. Ask most people where they think the hottest place on Earth is, and they'll most likely reply Death Valley. Indeed, the whole of Arizona can get devilishly hot, leading to people posting hundreds of hilarious images of things simply melting away from the heat of the sun. One image here, a garbage bin had melted apart, thanks to the extreme temperatures the metal cans reached inside, probably far exceeding 200 degrees Fahrenheit or 93 degrees Celsius. This famously hot area hosts virtually no animal or plant life and is a peril to traverse without adequate preparation. In fact, There are numerous stories of hikers being caught out in Death Valley, and one famous case in 1991 of a group who perished there led to the film in their camera actually melting. Furnace Creek is the part of Death Valley which holds the world's temperature record with a record high of a staggering 134.6 Fahrenheit or 57 degrees in 1913. It's between 50 and 80 meters or just over 200 feet below sea level and is encircled by raised rocky sides, allowing heat to sink right down into the creek, which has absolutely no shelter from the merciless sun. Many meteorologists dispute the accuracy of this historical reading, but modern temperature readings still reach around 129.2 degrees Fahrenheit or 54 degrees Celsius and have been recorded with photographic evidence. Furnace Creek's average highs in the summer peak around 114.8 Fahrenheit or 46 degrees Celsius, which is just phenomenal. That puts Furnace Creek right up with what currently seems to be the world's hottest temperatures. Because of this, Furnace Creek has become a popular tourist site and now features shops and cafes, so you don't have to fry your eggs on the road. Number 2. Satellite temperatures. Taking temperature readings isn't as simple as leaving a thermometer somewhere and taking a reading from it. There are many variables which make it a fairly complex procedure, and therefore, scientists generally like to combine temperatures taken from satellites and from the ground. Satellite data focuses on the LST, which is the land surface temperature. This is the temperature radiated by the surface of the land. Obviously, this is generally much hotter than the air temperature, which is what we feel as humans. If we were to lie on the ground in any of these places on black asphalt, we would certainly burn very quickly indeed. Satellite temperatures vary wildly, but some of the top temperatures recorded from NASA's Aqua Research satellite include Iran's Lut Desert, which measured 159.2 Fahrenheit or 70.7 Celsius. Queensland and Australia had the hottest average high temperature of 156.7 degrees Fahrenheit, 69.3 degrees Celsius, and in 2008 Flaming Mountain in China had a yearly maximum temperature of 156.6 Fahrenheit or 66.8 Celsius. Number 1. Ground temperatures. One step higher than satellite temperatures are ground temperatures. While satellite temperatures record temperatures which are resulting from reflected solar radiation directly from the surface, ground temperatures are measured directly below the ground. The depth of the thermometer greatly influences this, but dark soils with low thermal conductivity can yield theoretical high temperatures of between 194 and 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 90 and 100 degrees Celsius. This is easily enough to facilitate the melting of flip-flops, which isn't uncommon on asphalt in Australia. According to official records, the highest ground temperatures ever recorded are 183.2 degrees Fahrenheit, 84 degrees Celsius in Port Sudan, and 201 degrees Fahrenheit, 93.9 degrees Celsius in Furnace Creek Ranch on July 15, 1972, just a few degrees shy of boiling point. However, accurately recording temperatures can be challenging as the climate and methods of assessment are constantly changing. This poses a difficulty for climate scientists, as identifying the hottest temperature is not only a point of meteorological achievement, but also crucial for investigating climate change and global warming. What is the highest temperature you have ever encountered? Please share your response in the comments section below. Thank you for watching.